matter.
Happy weekend. It's Saturday, isn't it? Throwing me all off. Welcome. Thank you for coming in. Welcome from Allie's channel. She was here. She will hop back up shortly. Here she is. Thank you for joining me. Hey Melissa. Hey Muffy. Let's welcome Allie in. Hey, lovely.
Hello. Hi.
Thank you for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
That we were just discussing the new Sweetie Pie Lo. Hey, Grammy H, this new Sweetie Pie Lo video. And that one kind of totally took me off of my train of thought for tonight's live. It's just, holy cow.
I know, it's kind of crazy. Hey, you guys in chat. I pull up my other phone so I can chat back too. Hey, Muffy.
Hi, Jackie215.
Rand. Alexis.
Hey, Mallory.
Alexis said
she's not.
It's bothering her a lot. Yeah, I think it's bothering all of us for sure.
Yeah. It really is. And it kind of hits home, and it almost hits home to where it could, I think we're in the age group where it could be like close to our oldest kids, but then close enough to our years then. So it's like a fine line of like feeling relative, almost kind of like when it was Quentin Simon. Hey, Juicy. Thanks for coming in. It would hit home because he's just like literally just a few months different from my twins and looks just like one. So
yeah.
It definitely,
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. So a lot of these cases, some of them hit home pretty close than others in their own significant way. But what are some of your thoughts on the Idaho 4 and where you think the killer or your idea is?
Okay, so I don't know. I have a lot of different like thoughts and theories, but one that kind of stays the same no matter what. I do truly believe that they're pretty close by. I think that like walking distance, I don't see somebody walking away from a crime like this and, hopping in a car and driving for an hour. I think that without being cleaned up, you know what I mean? I just don't, seems really risky. To me, the whole crime is risky. It's like you go into a house with 4 to 6 people there, right? And at least 4 that you run into, that these people could have cell phones. They're, who knows what kind of baseball bats or knives or whatever they have in the house. I just think the whole thing is super risky. And to me, it feels like the person is probably close. And I don't know if they're still there. I do think that at least at the time being, they were staying pretty close. But it seems like a horror movie in real life, dude.
It really does. And I know a lot of people are trying not to think of the serial vibe, but that's all I can get with this. As almost if it's not the first attack. And went in too knowledgeable and too, and give it granted that they say, well, they said the murder scene is sloppy. Well, no matter which way you look at it, it will be a mess. It really will be.
Yeah.
So
now, do you think it could be like both personal and a serial killer? Do you think that it could have both elements, or do you think that, because that's where it gets me, because I also think of serial killer, but then I'm like, it just feels so personal. Can it be both?
I think it can be both. And I think it has to do with a trigger ego. So, kind of like when you look at Bundy, he had a specific type he targeted. And right before we went live, I kind of wrote down with a group of girls that I work with, and I wrote target. I definitely think it was Maddie. Motive was turned down or out of his league, like an ego complex. Mm-hmm. And after reading those 4chan pages, I was definitely thinking that it was a saber backhand slash. And they were even giving tips on how to not cut yourself, not how to protect yourself. It's just insane of like all of the tips and tricks on which motives and how you use it in combat and to take down the other person.
Yeah.
And then numbers play a role in this a lot, because if you think about it, November 13th, it was the weirdest thing, girl. I was driving home and I was like 11:22, and then I was like 3, and then as soon as I got out of my girl's daycare, my daughter's daycare, past a Trinity construction, and I was like, and that just gave me chills. So then I started looking up the significance of that date, and it's the actual anniversary of the Amityville murders.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
See, that's weird to say that. I've always thought that with the 1122, the house, like that just the address alone is like, whoa, that's kind of weird. Then the date,
yeah,
you know.
And there's even more that go with that date, like how there's more significance with most of them are born in November, or there's a lot of significant with killers, whether they're born or certain things happen. But that date definitely got me to start digging into it. And
wait, so why do you think? Oh, never mind. No.
What's that? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, why do you think Maddie was the target? Like, what leads you to believe that? I'm just curious, because I can't decide out of the two who I think it would be. But
see, that's where I think it's out of the league type ego, like a more of a stereotypical complex. Hey, de-icer. You were born in November. Uh-oh, better watch out for a de-icer. But it's more, I gotta give him a hard time. I think it's more to do with a certain type. And I said this in the one live when I was kind of going over, because I do readings on energies, and I did, hey, LT, thanks for coming in. Hey, Wolfie. Where it was on the energy, and I definitely got, oh my goodness, the 3 of my kids. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
When the energy, I did an energy read, just a cold energy read, and it took me forever and a day to even put it out there. But it was more of like a PTSD type trigger. So say, kind of like when I was referencing the Clay County killer, it made me think of him. So I think it has to do with more of a certain stereotype and out of his league ego complex. But you never know.
Well, a lot of people have that incel theory. I mean, and that, there's a lot of people who think that. Plus, it's not hard to get there. You look at these girls and they're literally drop dead gorgeous. They're beautiful. You know what I mean? So.
Yep. And then at the end of Sweetie Pie Lowe's movie, where she showed the video of a girl, of them seeing into the room with her just a black bra on, that's got to be Maddie. Got to be. We'll go over that because it's maybe...
I wasn't watching it when I listened. I was not looking at the screen. I was like listening, so I didn't see it.
Yeah, in the anagram.
A picture of the girl in the black bra, but I thought that was Kaylee. I can't tell.
Well, Maddie's room is on the very, very top. Now, Xana's mom did you see the interview with Xana's mom? Xana's mom?
Yes, I did.
Oh man,
I
my
didn't.
heart broke
I
through
don't
it.
think I watched the whole thing though, because it was like 20 minutes long, right? The full interview.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I listened to it during nap time, and man, it seems like she's pretty out of the loop. So my heart hurts for that. Um, Besides the numbers with the anagram, I definitely think it's a numbers factor, especially when I saw that anagram. So that's gonna be my project tonight, is figuring that out with my numbers with ones, threes. It's just repetition of ones, twos, and threes, it seems like. And
Yeah,
that's
really
where I'm
interesting.
wondering, yeah, and that's where I'm wondering if that time frame might coincide with it.
So,
Night
what do you
Wolfie,
think
thank you for
about all
coming
these,
in.
like the neighbor, for instance, or Kaylee's boyfriend, all these men that have been kind of out and around? Do you have any thoughts about any of them? Like,
Um, Personality wise, I could see him being like Jeremy when it comes to the socially awkward, but has the brain of like an engineer or a doctor. Like I
right?
work with that type of person every day, all day.
Yeah,
So they're insanely smart, but socially awkward, you know?
right.
So that's what I see as this person, is like someone that is kind of a lone wolf that sticks to themselves, but is kind of like gloating, but not, is very good at masking it, because he's kind of that person that's in the room that you don't notice and he's right
Yeah.
next to you.
Oh my
That
God, that's just so creepy.
that's the vibe I get. What
Um,
about you?
I agree. I I don't think that it's Jeremy, but I do think that he gave off many red flags, and kind of I get why people got there with him.
Right.
I do think Mama Bear said she thinks things are connected to Greek life. I do
Mm-hmm.
wonder about that. There's a lot of people talking about that fraternity. I know it was very close. And like I said, I really believe in my heart of hearts, that's the one thing that hasn't changed. In my opinion, I believe they're close, because I think
Mm-hmm.
they've been watching and they left out the back, and they had somewhere to go quick. You know what I mean? That
Yep.
or I thought in the beginning they had to have cleaned up there, because I don't see you walking away from something like this like clean.
Right. Well, you never know, because look at Richard Allen, where just now they're saying bloody and muddy, you know.
I
And it was
know,
the middle of the
yeah.
night.
I thought
That's kind
about
of
that.
freaky.
That's crazy. Richard Allen
Yeah,
walked right out of there covered in blood and mud. Like, oh my God, I
in the
just
middle of the
cannot.
day.
Yeah, you're right. Damn, I didn't think about that, but that's a good point.
Yeah,
Hey,
I
Jingo.
personally feel as though it's somebody that is familiar, but not in their center circle.
Oh, okay, that's probably what I think too. Like, I think that they are a little familiar, but not one of their like best friends or boyfriends or something like that. However, now
Right.
I'll say Hoodie Guy gave me a lot of red flags too, even
Yep.
being cleared.
Yep. My analogy the other day when I was doing my live was like, when you're in the bar, and I was like, girls, exactly what I'm thinking about is when a guy offers you to buy you a drink, and you're kind of like, now you go through that contemplation, because he already gives you the creeper vibes that, like, if you accept the drink, you're kind of obligated to talk to that person or entertain them a little bit. So I never accept drinks from somebody I don't know,
Right.
let alone, it gave me that kind of thought.
Yeah.
The hoodie guy, I'm still
Mm.
sus of. There's a couple of people that I'm sus of. Jeremy, no, I'm not suspect of him, but the energy of what I would see as a person being socially awkward and really intelligent would be right down the alley, in my opinion.
Right. I agree. Now, what do
Now,
you think about like Xana's parents and everything they've put out. Like that the Maddie and them were in the same bed, and Maddie and Kaylee were in the same bed, and that kind
Now,
of
I
stuff. Like,
just saw that post. Let me see if I have it here. Actually, some people questioned if it was like an FBI plant to say that to see reactions. And apparently it wasn't.
also, I'm sorry if I just like just start asking questions on a topic or something. Like, I don't mean to do that. I think it's just habit. So like,
Oh,
yeah,
by all means.
yeah.
That's okay. I
Instead of
enjoy
just
that.
like, okay, well, good. Because I'm not, I need to be quiet and wait for what you're going to say next.
Oh, no, girl, go ahead. If you want to say something, I scroll so much that feel free to. I am more than happy to hear what you've got to say or your thoughts or your input. That's exactly why I was excited to bring you on, because a different perspective and a different thought set definitely kind of opens the box to different thoughts that some people don't even think of.
Yeah, I love that. Good
And
conversation.
sometimes, right. And sometimes I squirrel. So I'll be like, I don't even remember what I went for once I walk through the door. So feel free.
Okay.
So then after the numbers, I wrote still a fantasy with military and an avid hunter, which I'm still firm on. I don't think this person was in military, but has fantasized of being in the military or grew up in a militant home.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people, I've heard that a lot. Like, even watching, different analysts on the news and stuff, there's a lot of talk about being possibly military. And I wonder
Yeah.
why. Is it the knife? Is it uh, I don't know what, but
I think the smooth in and out and probably the type of knife is what people think as Marines. But I don't necessarily feel like this would be like a PTSD vet. I think it's somebody that wished they could have been, but wasn't accepted in or was kicked out prematurely.
right.
And I think the mind factor has a lot to play with that, like the psychoanalysis side.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think if you're able to do something like this, well, just like that little girl, Athena, like, you got to be a psycho to be able to do something. Like, I mean, some of these crimes are so vicious. Like this, I mean, this is brutal. This is like what like horror movies are based on, right? Like
Yeah.
a whole house full of kids. And yeah, so I think there's definitely a psychopath at the other end of things.
Yeah. It's definitely, it opens your eyes, and a lot of people don't even notice it. Or here's a good one. Think about how hard it is to talk at a normal funeral celebration of life. That's very
So
true.
yeah, I guess talking about Maddie's boyfriend and his speech, which I didn't know he was being criticized for it. I didn't know that, but I did a speech at my friend's funeral in the ninth grade, and I will never forget it. It was extremely hard to do. Like, when I did it, I think I had tunnel vision the whole time. I couldn't see a person out there, and it just like almost put me into like a panic attack. I was a kid though, but these guys are kids too. I mean, they're not much older, and
Right.
uh, then you have like everyone's suspicious. My friend passed away of cancer, so no one was suspicious. But imagine, like, yeah, that's good point.
It really is, because everybody copes and responds differently, and it's really hard to decipher that aspect of their coping and projecting. Because shoot, if I were to get up and speak at somebody's funeral, I'd be the one cracking jokes because my whole family was dead by the time I was 22. So it's like my coping is I laugh at all the wrong moments, which isn't always necessarily the the most polite, practical way, but it's part
Yeah.
of my PTSD that I try to work on, you know?
Well, it's how you've had to get through, and I am so sorry to hear that. But I think like you probably had such dark times that you had to laugh to get through it,
Mhm.
period.
Yep. My doctor said to me one day, she goes, I just gave you two things of bad news, and you're like my only patient that laughs in my face every time I tell you something that's wrong. And I'm like, well, what else can I do? you know? Um, it's
I need to be more like you because I sit there and worry about everything. I mean, worry about things that I have no control over. That's like my thing.
Yep.
It keeps
Yep.
me up at night.
I used to do that. And my therapist told me one time, think of some things that really bug you. And it could be something that's super minor. And it's like that raindrop that's tapping you on your shoulder in the same spot over and over. Well, eventually that spot gets annoying. And that's like your anxiety festering up with that thought.
Mhm.
It gets bigger and bigger and bubbles up. So come to a solution of if this goes totally wrong, how am I going to be okay with it? So anything else is just a plus. So I've
Right.
kind of morphed that into my thinking of like thinking of the worst case scenario and how I'd be okay with it. And then
Right.
anything else.
Expecting the worst and hoping for the best.
Exactly. And
Mm.
and the way she said that raindrop scenario, it clicked in my head. So I was like, good point. Because that's otherwise I have insomnia. So I get
Yeah.
that completely.
Yeah. It's tough.
I
But
Oh, let me scroll up. I'm trying to see.
so you
Light
do
and
personal readings and personal tarot stuff? That's awesome.
yes, I do. I do all of the above. Tarot, spirit
You should
box.
You should advertise it more. Dude, Mexi and his spirit box, actually today he put out his findings on the Idaho 4, but he
I
blows
watched
my
it.
mind. I haven't watched it yet, but he with Michael Vaughn 9 months ago, he had his spirit box was saying stuff about Sarah, Stacy being like buried, all that stuff. I mean, he's really predicted a lot of things accurately. It's freaking crazy, but um
Yeah,
I think it's so interesting. I have a pendulum. I have tarot cards too, but I'm just like super empathetic, empathic. I'm not any kind of like, energy reader or anything like that. I am just a sensitive person who finds that stuff interesting.
yeah, it definitely is. And everybody has their own gifts. It's just how you tap into it
Yeah,
um,
absolutely.
and use it. And protection is the biggest for me. Um, So after I left off with military and an avid hunter, still feel this person is extremely smart as a high functioning spectrum and still firm, socially awkward, but is good at hiding his gloating. Guarantee he is still there and is local watching everything.
Well, Reverend Donna's reading said that like after he did this, that he was like so happy. Like he was like, dude, like basically like whistling around, like, cutting an apple with the knife with blood on it and eating it. And that he was just like living his best life. Like he was having a moment after. Now I know she's
It's like
just a
a moment
psychic.
of your euphoria. That's what I get.
Yes,
It's like an
exactly.
orgasmic euphoria.
And I know people are like, well, she's just a psychic. And don't get me wrong, I know that even the best can be wrong, right? But she's got such a great track record that you have to at least take note of it and remember it for later.
Right. And I haven't even looked at hers yet. It's
Oh
just
my
been
God.
so crazy
You
lately.
gotta, you should watch it and then let me know what you think, like
Yeah,
how
I
you
definitely
align
will.
with it. And
I definitely will because also I took into my reading that the knife was his trophy. And I related it to the samurai sword.
ooh. Wait, I think she said the same thing. She's like,
No way.
yeah, she's like, I'm pretty sure she said he will not get rid of his knife, but he's the kind of person who will bury it to save it because it is special and sacred. Like, it's important to him now after this. So yeah. Wow.
Oh my gosh. And see, I connected it to like the samurai sword of where the trophy is kind of like how the old tale of the samurai sword where it captures its spirits, that of whoever it kills.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
I
I
think
never
of,
heard that.
I've got goosebumps. I
Oh,
think of that as his knife, and
wow.
that he will definitely hide that knife because that's his treasured possession.
Wow. So that's what she says. That's really interesting. And you haven't heard it yet. I mean, she
No,
didn't say exactly, but in different words, she did. So,
I,
oh, wow.
wow. And see, I just think of it as he's taking, in his mind, capturing their spirits into his knife, and that's
Oh my
his
God.
trophy.
Wow. Oh,
It just, it gets me. But do you think the killer took something with him from the house? No, I think he only took his knife.
yeah, I kind of think, I'm with you. I don't know because I don't like it, but just in my opinion, I don't think so.
Yeah. I don't
Maybe
think
if it was an
he had.
obsessive thing over one of the girls, maybe, but
Right. Oh, shoot. Hold on. My computer's acting up.
well,
Sorry.
um, can you hear me while
Yeah,
your
I can hear
computer's
you.
acting up? Okay. So that the coroner said on Ashley Banfield, her words were most of them, because Ashley said, okay, so were they slashings or stabbings? And she said they were stabbings. She's like, well, they were puncture wounds, but they were so deep, it's hard to, for me to know how to qualify that. She said, but most of them had one fatal wound. So that just led me to think that one of them might have been like mutilated or mini wounds,
And
or you know what I mean?
that's where I made the comment in my live last week where the target was definitely the most injured. And
Well,
also,
yep.
go ahead.
Nothing. I was just gonna say, yeah, that's kind of like what I was thinking. Like, if there's one that's more injured, does that mean that's why they think it was targeted? Or I don't know. They're just so confusing with that targeted.
Well, I didn't watch any of the profiling until after I did my live because I didn't want to lose my train of thought. And it was, oh my gosh, they are loud. The joys
It's
of
okay.
twins, y'all. Um, they, I totally forgot my train of thought now.
Well, I know that the chat said they love hearing the kids in the background. So
They're
there's a
2-year-old
big,
twins,
like,
y'all.
2-year-old twins. No wonder
Yeah.
Quentin's case hit you so hard. You know what I mean? Because, like, when they are, like you were saying at the beginning, when they're the same age as your kids, or you can see your kids in them or your family somehow, they hit you different.
Yep. And it definitely hits home. So when you're talking about the knife, this is what where my mind went to. And it was off of the 4chan. And it was on a thread of how do you use your weapon. And this kind of hit me. Sideways and saber also have their functions. They are mostly taught in military, but rarely seen outside of it. For example, the sideways grips meant to position the blade so it can pass through the ribs of your target. The saber is meant to cut with the blade and not plant. Hammer and reverse are meant for planting the blade into the target. Reverse mostly for neck and collarbone area. Hammer is meant for stomach, upper torso. In any case, you are supposed to keep your free hand on front so your adversary is more focused on avoiding it because he'll think you'll try to grab him or push him out of the way. And that often results in him making a small mistake. Anyways, Any type of fighting required training. Thugs know how to knock you out because they keep fighting between each others, but you probably don't. And reverse is just like hammer. So there's a lot of weird, and this was the thread that she was posting Sweetie Pilo on, that she assumed that he was on, that he was actively posting in. So it kind of caught my attention because the post that she shared is no longer there. But
yeah, super interesting. They deleted it after her video.
Yeah. And then real ones go reverse, edge back, rip their shit. Like, they get pretty graphic in these threads. And I was like, what did I just step into?
Oh my God. Wait, so how did you, if they were deleted, are you reading them from her video, I guess? Or
No, these are different threads that were just even posted today.
oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah. Reverse ice pick is good when you aren't eyeing to keep cool under stress. When people lose their head and go full caveman, they club their targets with their fist. It helps to have pointy bit sticking out that way. Go with the sideways grip and adopt a martial arts stance to intimidate your foe into thinking you shouldn't be messed with, which caught my attention. A lot of
Yeah,
that.
now I want to go look. I don't even know. I've never been on 4chan.
This was my first time, and I was just like, holy cow.
We got a mad baby. That's okay. You check on him and I'll talk to the chat.
Thank
If
you.
Okay, you're welcome. So let's see. Lynn, yeah, I'm curious too. Like, I thought maybe if he's super obsessed, he could take, like, some of their hair, a ring, a bracelet. I don't know, something crazy like that. But I don't know. 4chan is worse than Reddit. Oh, see, I've only heard bad things about it, and I've heard always there's a lot of like misinformation politically and stuff on there. So I never got on there. Let's see. Alexis, you heard one was more injured. Oh, you guys, another thing the coroner said was that they were mainly wounds to the upper torso. But I don't remember her words for that.
Yeah, she said she was very discreet on the upper torso, but thank you for helping me with that. Yeah, I saw a lot of the political stances on that, so I was just like, holy cow. But
yes, that's the only time I've heard about 4chan was like during the election and everything too, when I heard about it. So I just never went. But I'm going tonight. Is it the dark web though? Like, no.
That's
right?
what it gives you vibes of.
That's what I heard.
Alexis just said it's worse than Reddit.
I saw that. Yeah, I heard, like, when I mentioned it on my channel, people in the chat said it's the dark web, but I didn't know, like, it because it's so easily accessible.
Yeah.
I don't know. Crazy.
It feels like the dark web, but no, it's not. Just careful. Don't post. Just be careful. Don't post.
Can y'all see me going over, creating an account and posting all over it? Well, I ain't going to do that.
I had to laugh because today when they were posting like the pictures
like
of
me with my 4chan account.
Right? Well, they put on there earlier, newbie here, where can I find a good knife? And I was like, OMG. Could that be some private eye or it definitely gives you the freaky vibes.
Oh, no, you're cutting out a little bit for me.
Oh, am I? Can y'all hear me? It is Mama Bear. Hi, Roni. Welcome in.
Did you hear just now?
No, didn't hear you at all.
Okay.
I can hear you now.
Okay, because, yeah, I lost you for a second, and I'm sure it's me, not you, but the internet is awful.
Well, Lynn says she can hear both of us. So
Okay, good.
4chan
Good.
also really doesn't like women. I saw that. Or anybody of color or
Anybody but straight white men.
pretty much. That's what it looked like. Same chemistry queen. This is a new ball game for me. And see, I was already thinking of like the Nancy Grace profiling of it's a target, it's not a target, and then them possibly putting up the idea of, well, is this a mass versus a serial? Is this like they were putting up all the options, right? And it was
Yeah.
funny that you brought up Kaylee Anthony because that is what got me into following this type of genre in the beginning was Kaylee Anthony and the Casey Anthony trial.
Wait, did you watch like Nancy Grace's show back in the day?
Every episode, girl.
Oh my God, I watched it too. Ashley Banfield came on before her at 7 a lot of
Yep.
times, and then
H1.
it was, yep. Oh my God, I watched it too. And do you remember? Okay, so if you watched it, do you remember Hannah Graham?
Yes.
She was at the was it UVA? It was, and she was kidnapped, and it was a taxi driver. And oh my God, those are cases that like got me into true crime too. And he ended up being the killer of a girl named Morgan from a Metallica concert years before. And yeah,
Goodness.
that was a crazy one. But I remember Top Mom and
Oh
Nancy
yeah.
Grace is she's still doing her thing. Matter of fact, I meant to cancel it, and today I got charged for another month. I've been paying for Fox Nation for the last like 6 months because I was trying to hear her podcast. It was, I think, maybe for Lori Vallow. There was a specific reason, like I did it the first time. In the
Mhm.
first month, it's like $1, and then you can hear her podcast, and there's other true crime stuff on there too.
Right.
But it's like,
I just signed up for the free trial just so I
oh
could
yeah,
hear her
well, watch
thoughts on
out.
it.
You're gonna end up paying for 6 months like I did.
Oh my
Just,
goodness.
but at least you'll get to listen to Nancy Grace, like in the podcast, and it works like
Yeah.
a podcast app, so you can turn your phone off and it'll still play and stuff.
See, I love that. The only thing I don't like is that it doesn't have the PIP. Like I can't put it down like
Uh,
YouTube or let it play.
okay, I thought it. I was thinking it did have that for some reason. I can't stand not having that. I paid for YouTube Premium when I switched phones because I lost it at first for a while.
Yeah. I have it on my main account and love it. Just my personal opinion, Ellie doesn't have a clue who did this. They need to backtrack. I think this is someone close to them and unsuspected.
Alexis, I think you're
What?
right. I'm really worried this person is going to get away with it for a while, at least.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Muffy is making avocado brownies. What? That sounds like really good. Are you using the avocado as like the oil because it's a healthy fat? That have you ever heard of that? Avocado brownie.
But yeah. Yeah, I've heard of that. I've also done it with applesauce, or what's also really good is zucchini.
So that makes total sense. Like the as like your oil. My mom does all kinds of stuff like that. Like she'll use Greek yogurt in place of something in those recipes. Like maybe I don't know, but she does all that. Like healthier options.
Oh
I
yeah,
need to start
like
eating healthier.
a pastry chef I worked under. I was like, "How do you make this so moist?" And she's like, "I substitute zucchinis." And I was like,
Oh,
"No way!" For like chocolate cake and anything like of that texture, and it comes out
wow.
amazing.
Oh, I gotta try that. That's super freaking cool. Well, I know you are like, you know a lot about. Remember, we had a long talk about diet
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
phone and stuff. Yeah.
yeah. I'm always looking at like tips and tricks. And when I was stuck at home, I did a like huge depression era type recipes that came out like amazing. And it was really like only 4 ingredients to make a chocolate cake with icing.
Oh,
And it
how
came out
cool.
awesome. And I was like, oh, this might not taste good. Because I'm one of those that worked under really good pastry chefs. And I was just like, I don't want to be disappointed on something I can make better.
Oh, that
And
is cool.
oh, easy now. It still hurts. I've got the roll on icy hot. Did I tell you what I did to my back?
You text me about it, but tell me again because I haven't talked to you since, like on the phone,
So,
really.
since I don't have that much time to do my nails anymore, I was putting on the press-ons,
Mhm.
and sorry, it says I've only got 10% left in my computer,
That's okay. It
but it
happens
says
to me.
it's got a full battery.
I'm like, hurry, rushing to plug it up before it dies.
It's funny it says that when it's got a full battery, but um, so I just threw some uh press-ons on really quick with some super glue, and the twins threw my super glue into the sink, which our apartments never gave us new stoppers. And so the super glue fell all the way down the tube to like where the PVC pipe is. So I went to
Hmm.
bend down and unscrew it. And from all of my history, I've got really bad neuropathy in my feet. And I got unbearable, like unstable. And I was like, oh shit, I need to sit. And then it was too late. I fell backwards and smashed my back right into the toilet and heard a loud crunch.
Uh,
My
oh my
doctor
God.
wanted me to go to the ER and I never went.
Oh,
So
well, how are you feeling now? Like what day was it? I remember you
Sunday.
messaged, it's like our last message. I remember something about you getting hurt. Okay. So
Yeah.
today is Friday, Saturday.
Saturday. Saturday. So tomorrow will
Oh
be
my,
a week.
wait, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. And I
It's
know
okay.
like God, you've been through hell. You're a freaking strong as hell. You've been through a lot, but also as we get older, like I mean, I don't even know how old you are, but I know you're probably close to my age. I'm 33 and I know that like I don't heal from my injuries as fast as I used to and things like affect me a lot worse than they did when I was younger.
Yeah. I always tell my husband, wait until he's 30 because that's when you really start to feel your aches little by little. I'm 36.
How old is your husband?
29.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Alexa says she only uses press-on nails. They last forever in cute designs, and she can relate to your pain. But Alexis, I love press. I don't do nails anymore because, especially when I'm doing tie dye more, which I haven't been lately. But I still, like to clean a lot. I'm using my hands a lot, and
Mm-hmm.
before though, I love press-ons. You can get like the ones that are short that look like acrylic nails. Do you know what I'm talking about?
That's
The
what I put
short ones.
on. And they were
Yes,
super cute.
they're so
But
pretty and they look just like acrylic. They're even like kind of wide, like those ones, the short. Um,
exactly. I loved them because they were on sale at Walgreens and they bent. They were popping off
oh, that
and I
sucks.
had to
Use
give up.
super glue. I use real super glue, not just regular nail glue. You have to use like the best super glue, and they stay on about 1 week.
Oh man. I
Easy now said you're a cougar.
Oh, that's because he always tells everybody I'm 64.
It's funny. Muffy said yes. The avocado replaces the oil, and they are delicious. Yum.
That sounds good. That sounds really good. I've never tried the avocado yet. I've tried all the others.
Yes, the kiss. The kiss is the one
Yes.
that does. Now they have Christmas designs. They last 3 weeks. Oh my God.
I
Okay.
wish.
Well, I'm a hand washing fanatic. Like I wash my hands too much. Maybe that's why they don't last as long for me. But like I get really dry, broken out, like cracked hands from overwashing.
Right. You have like what we call nurse hands. Repetitive. Always
Yep.
washing them. Nurses' hands are always dry from washing and sanitizing.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. And then they burn every time you sanitize, but you got to keep doing it because you'd rather have like burned, cracked hands than like germy, gross hands.
Exactly. Exactly. So, did you see Brian Enton interviewed Kaylee Goncalves' family, and in quote, it was, I just feel like there has been a couple of individuals that were cleared very fast that maybe shouldn't have been.
Whoa, who said that?
Um, let's take a look. I believe it would probably be his dad or one of her siblings.
Wow.
Let's take a
I have
look.
not seen it. Yeah, let's watch. I'm interested in it.
I saw the link and I just put it up here because I was like,
I just feel now her dad, his last interview, there was some weird stuff in it. He said that okay, first he mentions a Tesla and he's like, well, I feel like they need to be checking cameras because okay, so they ask, did you get anything else from their phones? And he's like, yeah, I got some stuff. He said, they need to be checking cameras and stuff though, and make sure people, their cars where, like he talks about an alibi and make sure people are parked where they say, and there's some weird little hints he gives. Ooh, I
yeah.
just feel there has been a couple of individuals that were cleared very fast that maybe shouldn't have been. Oh my God.
Grammy H said it was her mom that said that. So let's take a look and see what.
Is anyone acting differently since the murders? I mean, is there anyone that you have a weird feeling about that the girls knew or that comes to mind?
Yeah, I would say not in the immediate circle by any means, but a few of the names that have been circulating around, I think it's hard not to kind of, dig into this. And I don't know how much of that is just because we have so little information from law enforcement and how much of it really is, a sister or a father's intuition.
Can you elaborate at all? I don't know. You don't have to give a name, but I mean, is it someone that she knew or?
I have something to say about that. I just feel like there's been a couple individuals that were cleared very fast. That may not, maybe shouldn't have. And yeah.
She had the strong alibi.
Just really fast.
If you can dismiss
an hour later, and we're like, what? And I don't know. I don't know anything about those individuals. I just know they were people that, definitely should have been looked at. And
I don't know what would prevent you from sharing somebody's alibi.
Yeah, I think that's what we're struggling with. So it's like, we know what we know. We've, fought for Jack, Kaylee's boyfriend, and, we still stand that way. So I did just kind of want to clear that up while we're talking through this ambiguity that, that's not what we're honing in on here.
We don't want to make more victims out of innocent people.
Exactly.
We definitely don't want to do that.
Hoodie guy, maybe? Holy.
Good thought. I don't know, but that caught my attention when I was
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my God. They have to mean hoodie guy. They have to. My opinion. Or the roommate. But because I will say, whenever they were asked about the roommates, they said they believe that law enforcement has done their due diligence and checked them out. So if they say that they're innocent and not involved, then they believe that. This was like in the beginning, but it was still weird the way that they said it. Like, and then Jack, and I think hoodie guy, all of us have been like, whoa, wait, he's cleared, okay, because he's just acts weird, and he was with them like an hour before they were killed. He's literally seen on camera following them when they leave the grub truck. I mean, he also has been kicked out of a fraternity for bad behavior. He lives in the apartments right across the road. He definitely owns knives like that. He's got pictures of himself on social media with deer and, different things all mutilated.
Like the picture, is that the same one that JLR was showing of like balancing everything on his chin too? Or was that a different one?
Hold on. I'm gonna just send them to you real quick, so I'll be able to hear you, but you won't be able to hear me for just a second.
Okay. Easy Now 90 says they might be out there, but I feel like the person who committed the murders had some kind of training, because to kill 4 people silently would not be easy. And I truly think, Alexa says, I truly think as someone who blends into the environment there really well enough to not be suspicious at all. That's a bold crime to commit in such a busy area.
Alexis, I totally agree so much. Yes, I saw that a 911 call made right right there at a frat party, and I just sent those to you. They should come
Okay.
right through. But there's a photo of him with the deer, but the deer's been like blurred out. There's a photo
Yes,
of him.
I saw that.
Yeah. There's another photo of him I actually hadn't seen before. And you know, Donna says that the dude has like reddish hair and he worked at a
Mhm.
bagel store, and this guy has a past of working at a place like that, and he has red hair. I mean, I'm just saying.
So is this the guy that Emma could have confused as Jeremy?
No,
As
but
the
Don.
Josh Petty?
No, this is a different guy. This is John. This is Jack Showalter, and he is totally different guy, but also gruesome in the same kind of way, kind of like he has
Right.
photos. And Donna says in her reading that the guy has photos on social media of him like hunting and with like bloody deer and stuff. And he literally, I just sent you a picture of him with it, and it was like it was skinned. It was more than just your regular, the way that a hunter would skin a deer. Like it was a little bit more mutilated.
Right. Well, let's take a look at this then, if you're up for it. The Sweetie Pilo, because I definitely, a lot of people want to take out the dog or certain scenarios with the animals. And I was like, and then they said, well, why did they leave the dog? And in my opinion, I feel as though the dog was not of interest. He's over the dog. Now he wants to successfully tackle the human side, even though it might not be his first. He's done on the animal side, because a lot of killers, they tend to start with animals and practice that
Yeah.
way.
They do. You're right. Yeah, we can look at it. I don't know if I've seen what you're showing yet or not.
It's the one you listen to, but it's more sorry, he's going around the corner saying hello. The coyote. Did you see her reference that?
Yeah, I've seen about it, but I don't know a lot of, like, all I know is that it was 7 coyotes were skinned as like a fraternity prank, right? And I don't know
It
if I heard her
happened.
say it or not,
Yeah,
because
it
I was
happened
listening in.
across. Yeah, I as soon as your live ended, I saw this and I was like, holy cow. Because what have you been thinking the other day? This? Oh, I see what you're talking about. Yes, I think so. Can I post a link? I don't want to do it without asking. You can always email me the link and I can put it in. I don't know if it'll let you. Because you're not a mod. Oh, that kid is laughing, cracking you up. Of course they would. Allie, don't mind Easy Now 90. He is a sugar daddy if you ever need one, but he's in the UK, so he's kind of high maintenance. All right, so let's take a look, and if you want to stop or have any questions, just let me know.
Okay.
Weekend, happy Saturday. But not real happy because this maniac is still on the loose. I want to share with you some more information that I found out as I dove into the bowels of 4chan. I need to preface what I'm about to show you also by saying that this is all alleged, this is not fact, this is not confirmed, but this is what I've found, and I want you to know about it, because from the looks of what I've come across today, there is, in my opinion, in one woman's opinion, that you might have a serial killer on your hands there in Moscow, Idaho. This is not to play the alarmist role, but it's to warn you, not that you haven't been warned already. But this, I've come across a map, and when I plug in some of the locations for this map, it looks to be possibly linked, like the killer.
I just want to interject really quick that this is also where I want to kick in those numerology aspects too. So if you want to pay attention to a little bit of those synchronicities as you guys watch it and let me know, feel free to comment in the chat what you think.
Okay.
Killer is trying to admire their own work. They have now put out kind of a record of what they've done. And so I'll have to show you what I'm talking about here. Take a look at this map. It says Moscow, Idaho. Overview map number 1. On the right-hand side, there's a legend. It says bearable dentistry. Then there's feature 1, feature 2, feature 3, feature 4, 5, 6, 7. Hartung Theater, Kibbe Dome, Oxford Laundry, Sudsies Laundry, Tapped, The Laundry Room, United States Postal Service, University of Idaho Disc Golf, University of Idaho Golf Course. Now pay attention to all these landmarks, okay? So we know the Quarter Club is where they were that night. We know Mad Greek is where Maddie and Xana worked. You see here, it says Sudsies Laundry LLC. Well, 911 calls in Idaho College Town include reports of blood, unusual circumstances. Moscow, Idaho, the small town of Moscow, received a deluge of calls last week reporting suspicious activity and requesting welfare checks after 4 University of Idaho students were savagely stabbed to death in a home near campus, according to the recently released 911 logs. The owner of Sudsies Laundromat dialed 911 on November 23rd to report a mark on the column inside that looks like blood. An officer responded, but did not take a report. Now, you will see that seems to be an ongoing theme, that MPD goes out, they assess the situation, and I want to say 100% of the time, they do not write a report. It's very strange, especially at a time such as this. Now let's.
Now, I found that funny because as we were doing that, Alexis emailed me their 911 call logs.
I reported on this a few days ago. I saw it in a Facebook group about the laundromat and the blood, and they don't take reports. They went out there and checked it out, and that was it. No report taken. It's like you don't want to take a report, test it. I mean, anything like that. Okay, I guess.
Now let's get into what he actually says. And here's what he says. We should all be marveling in his talent and commitment to perfection, a true artist in his craft. Yet no one seems to be paying proper respects. Our guest of honor has been in these threads and continues to do so. Let me be the first to say welcome. Let me apologize for all those who came before me and tried to present childlike antics, thus wasting your valuable time. The floor is now properly yours. We are ready to listen. So now the writer goes over in a boastful way, or maybe in an admiring sort of way, where he says that these are the things he's seen that he very much gives props to, okay?
Now, the links that she shares in the bottom, they're gone. They're completely taken off of 4chan.
What? All of them? Didn't you say that there was?
There's
One that's
4, and 2 of them are pictures. The two
okay.
these threads right here are completely gone.
Okay. And then are the 2 pictures still there? They're probably not going to be for long if they are. You, they
I
were
didn't
when we
see
came,
them.
right? Oh, you
Yeah,
didn't?
those
Okay.
pictures. Well, I didn't see them on the thread. I'm wondering what type of thread this would be connected to because they have different topics.
Okay.
Okay, that the killer did these particular things. So posted laundromat locations. He says that was brilliant. Posted coordinates as a gift. 2 trail cams found thus far. Very smart. Seems no one checked for wireless cams behind the house in the woods. Double brilliant. Remains immune to immature baiting from these forums. Triple brilliant. Posted pic of one of the young ladies in the black bra. Impressive photo. Let me show you that real quick, guys. Let me read the rest of them and then I'll show you the black bra. Many other photos posted but have been ignored. I'm sure that caused a chuckle or two. Ultimately, the show must go on. Phase 2 due to commence. Here, the writer is saying that this is going to happen again. Now, somebody made a really good note of the dates that a lot of these murders have occurred, that it was on the 13th. I think the one in Oregon, the one in Washington. I don't have that in front of me, but that's what I've heard. And if that is true, I think he's doing a murder by numbers, that kind of thing, slash Zodiac. It's definitely, I think, a theme he's going with. I'm going to show you the coordinates real quick that the person posted. I can't remember the date. I feel like it was November 20th or so. But these are the coordinates that were posted in 4chan. They may have yielded something that could be why the person who wrote this is sort of boasting that there were 2 trail cams found and that there are other, I think, 2 trail cams that are behind.
Now, this picture is one of the 2 that are left. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, like a copycat.
Wow. So there's still 2 up, right?
Yeah, 2 pictures. The anagram
Oh,
and then this map.
and I meant the trail cams. Okay. I was thinking, because she said there's 2 trail cams gone and 2 that are still there. That is really interesting too.
Yeah, and you see how the correlations of like the 2s and the 3s right there too, which I'm trying not to overthink, but it's definitely.
Well, on my phone, I can't really see it because it's so little. You know what I mean? I can't read it. But
I can't read it either, but her reading it out, I was like, holy guacamole.
okay. Guess I didn't pick up on it. Let me see.
The house in the wooded area that possibly haven't been found yet. I mean, if any of this is true, it's absolutely crazy. Again, we're going to say it's speculation right now. I want you to let me know what you think of it. It's awfully creepy. Okay, here's the black bra photo. Take a look at this. It says Moscow. So I don't know if this was manipulated to say Moscow, November 13th, 3:10. It very well could have been. But if you zoom in, it certainly looks like the window was free and clear of nothing obstructing the view so they could actually see in, watch her changing. It's really creepy. There's also talk about anagrams that this person has been using. I want to share this.
I saw Melissa compare that photo right there to Kaylee that night, the same night, and like line them up. And I swear to you, their hair looks identical, even their size and everything. It's crazy.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, she lined up her head. A picture of them that day, like some of those famous pictures we've seen everywhere. She lined up one of those with her there from the top, like her top of her head to the feet, and it was like everything was identical. The hair, the length between the head and the shoulders versus the shoulders and the hip, like just everything. It was
Right.
crazy.
Like the small indifferences between the two. Holy cow. And I was just looking and zooming into that one that you showed of that live where you showed the top of the overhang where it was suspected there could have been blood splatter. And I looked in and I zoomed in, and that top floor, you can see like everything. It's crazy.
Yeah, there's like reporters and stuff. I meant to freaking, oh my God, let me forward it to you. But I meant to show it today, like just for fun during my live. It was a lady who was sharing like photos that had been taken from the outside, but you could see like a lot inside. No blood or
Oh,
anything,
you're
but
talking
yeah,
spirituality with Nikki or something like that? Spiritually.
I don't know the name. I just was the one that
Spiritual
caught my
with
attention.
Nikki.
I say, but it was a TikTok.
Oh. See, let me see if I can find it. Spiritual with Nikki, I want to say it is the one that I saw. Like,
Do you have any screenshots of that picture of her in the bra?
no. I might have to rewatch
Muffy,
it and do
she is.
that.
Yeah, I need to get some too because I want to compare it myself. Muffy, she is gorgeous. I actually have a wrench over there, and like I think she had a live stream once, and it didn't like she didn't like it went crazy because she didn't have mods, so she didn't have enough. So she had reached out to me on my channel and said like I was, had asked for my help. So I had like a few months later, she finally went live, and I was a wrench. So I just like when she goes live, I try to get over there to help her out, but
Yeah.
I never know when she's going to, and it's kind of random.
She likes the middle of the night. It's like the mom 3 a.m. thoughts that she's really good at.
Yeah, that's funny, and just like randomly pop up. Okay.
Yes, easy now. And then there's also the ladder that's leaned up right next to that too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get through this.
Share this message with you. Let's see if we can somehow unscramble what the words are. I can't remember how I found this. I think it was a picture posted in the 4chan forum. And it basically just said that this was posted recently by somebody, which we could all suppose is probably the person who carried out these deaths and stuff. So it says, boyfriend of unfortunate has had satellite turned upside down. Now, what is an anagram? An anagram is, so it's a word, so it's where letters in one word could be scrambled and turned into a whole other word. So if you plug all these words in, you might figure out what it's saying. So that's kind of interesting. Now, next point, I'm trying to make my point fast here. Next thing that was stated, that was shown on that map, is the coyotes. Okay, this is why the coyotes are important. This is back from 6 years ago. It says someone's marking coyotes and leaving the carcasses all over University of Idaho Greek Row. For the second time this year, fraternity and sorority members at the University of Idaho woke up to a strange sight of multiple coyote carcasses laying on the doorsteps of their Greek homes. A man was originally caught placing the dead animals on Delta Zeta's stoop back in late January, and this past Friday, more coyote bodies appeared on the porches of the Pi Cap, Alpha Pi, and Pi Phi houses. So it says on January 20th, a man left a dead animal on the porch of a sorority and was caught on camera. He admitted to police he had done it on a dare. In that case, the suspect did not face charges because their sorority did not want to press them, said Captain Tyson Barrett of Moscow PD. in that case. The sorority just wanted the suspect to clean up the mess. In last week's incident, police said they do not have any suspects, though the man from the first incident is being questioned. Barrett said the second incident did not appear to have the same MO. In the second incident, it appeared someone threw the carcasses from a car from the alleyway behind the houses. Barrett said, in the first incident, the suspect had taken the time to place it nicely at the door. Okay, so here's the next link. This happened back on, it was either April 30th or May 1st.
And welcome to the Sunday News at 10. I'm Doug Petcash. We start with a tragic story out of North Idaho. The Moscow Police Department says officers found the body of a young Boise man this morning. The body of 19-year-old Hudson Lindau of Boise was found in Paradise Creek near College Avenue in Moscow this morning. The Moscow Police Department says they responded to reports of a body in the creek around 11:30 this morning. The investigation is ongoing, but police say foul play is not suspected.
Take note that that location was listed on this map. It says Paradise Creek. So again, either it is somebody just taking note of all the different incidences that have happened in, let's say, the last several years, or he's taking a bow because he carried it out without being caught. He carried out all these different incidents without being caught. And he's very proud of himself. And in a sort of braggadocio way, he's taking credit. Let me show you what was also posted there. There was this extremely graphic post. I can't even show it to you guys, but what it was blood all over a room. And it looked like either symbols or maybe even words. I mean, I couldn't make out words, but maybe if I could see all of like an entire panoramic view, maybe there would be words. But anyway, things written in blood. And so in the same area as that particular post, there was this written. It says, it's okay to notice the coincidences. So just to sort of go over it one more time, this post that I found with the map is stating that all these different locations on the map are associated with the killer in some way, that this is not coincidence, that there is a connection here. And at this time, the person who is doing the admiring, or let's say could be the killer, is saying that he put out coordinates where the cops then found 2 trail cams, that there are also 2 or 3 other trail cams behind the home that have possibly not been found yet. Let's go over it one more time. I'll read it one more time. Okay, we should all be marveling in his talent and commitment to perfection. A true artist at his craft, yet no one seems to be paying proper respects. Our guest of honor has been in these threads and continues to do so. Let me be the first to say welcome. Let me apologize. Okay, so let's go through this just one more time real quick and summarize what we found. Moscow, Idaho overview map. Number 1, he's got all these places listed in the legend. So all of these are significant somehow. When I plug in the location, Paradise Creek body found, and then this Sudsy's Laundry where there was blood found on the wall. There's also these locations that were associated with the girls, such as Mad Greek, where Maddie worked, then the Corner Club where they went that night. Now there's also this Idaho Farmhouse Bakery. I'm not sure if that is affiliated with the killer. I ask that you please do not bother this business, but it was cited on that map, Idaho Farmhouse Bakery, so I wanted to take a look at it. It looks like it was recently established in 2021. Let's scroll through it real quick. There's this beautiful, like, loaves of bread. I don't know if this is supposed to be like some sort of a sign. We're downstairs at the Mountain Home Grange. We will be here until 3 p.m. Come by and say hi. But look at this bread. It looks amazing. I was just staring at these cinnamon rolls over here, going, I gotta make some cinnamon rolls. This just looks incredible. But take a look at this. So this is a bakery popped up in the last couple years. I don't know why it's on that map. It's a little interesting though, isn't it? Anyway, just wanted to show you real quick. Remember, please do not bother these people. I just wanted to show what was listed on that map, give you some food for thought. It is rather really just super weird, right? When was this from? November 12th. Come check us out, 1912 Center. So anyway, there it is. Not a clue, but the person who made this map is suggesting that there's some sort of affiliation or association with all these different locations. Then you've got where the coyotes were found. If you look over here on the left of the screen, bottom left, dead coyotes were put in these specific places. So somehow it's all tied together. And then the person comments and says, posted laundromat locations, brilliant. Posted coordinates as a gift, 2 trail cams found thus far, very smart. Seems no one checked for wireless cams behind the house in the woods, double brilliant. Remains immune to immature baiting from these forums, triple brilliant. Posted pic of one of the young ladies in the black bra. Impressive photo. Many other photos posted but have been ignored. I'm sure that caused a chuckle or two. Ultimately, the show must go on. Phase 2 to commence. And the picture of that anagram again. What do these words become? All right. So anyway, we will leave it there. I'm going to continue to do some looking into this. Nothing confirmed here. This is just what I found, and it's concerning. Hopefully everybody's having a good weekend. Take care, and make sure that you stay safe if you're in that local area, because there is a lot going on behind the scenes. I'm convinced of it now. Bye. Hey, everybody. Happy weekend. Happy Saturday.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's freaking crazy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Man.
And that's what I was thinking, Easy Now 90, killing animals then progressing to people, which a lot of killers do. That's a good point. Yeah, when Ellie said the dead animals were not connected, they made me go, but really? Same here.
I don't know. It's freaking scary. Really scary. No wonder the people that live there are freaked plumb out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely opens your eyes. And that's where I was coming in with the profiling and then saw this and was like,
You
totally.
need to listen to Donna's reading now.
I definitely will. I
I
definitely
need to
will.
re-listen too. Especially that bakery is interesting because she mentions like she kept seeing bread in her reading.
Yeah. I remember hearing like people talk about it, but I haven't watched it yet. And that definitely caught my attention when I saw that. I was like, oh man. And so many things, like pay attention to the coincidences. And you know how they always say there are no coincidences in true crime.
Yep, exactly.
And how
Okay.
all of those quotes were double with the trail cams. Nobody looked for the wireless trail cams, and then a triple awesome.
I know.
And
That
it's
was
just
so
like
scary the way it was written.
yeah. So now I'm gonna be deep diving into that rabbit hole, thinking of that stuff.
Me
because
too.
I was already deep diving into, I want to say like November 12th was Dahmer or Bundy's birthday, and then the 24th was the anniversary of Bundy's killing, I think.
That bread place, the post was on the 12th.
Yeah, right before it.
Mm-hmm. But you know what?
Well,
I'm probably going to have to jump in your chat because Bentley's getting ready for bed and he's using the potty and I'm going to have to help him in a second. And
no, I got to go too. And I wanted to say thank you for joining me. Thank you, chat, for joining me. And I really appreciate it. I was totally expecting to go over something else. And then I saw that video and I was like, holy cow.
Well, I'm glad that we did because like last time I listened, I was listening on earbuds and like running around the house doing stuff. So getting to watch, I got so much more from it. And my mind is like blown right now. I will not go down the rabbit hole. I will not go down the rabbit hole.
But yeah, she'll be texting me, did you go down the rabbit hole? I've gotten this far. How far have you gotten? I can totally see it later. Thank you, Grammy H. Thank you, Sweet Pea. Thank you, Alexis. Thank you, Alex. Allie.
Oh, thank you. You call me whatever you want. And I so appreciate you having me on. It was fun. And yeah, message me later.
Definitely will. Same to you. Well, thank you, everybody. Have a great night.
Bye.
All right. Bye.